Well, hello once again, everyone. Um, I was thinking, okay, back on. So, before I say anything, I decided to move the ending music little clip to the front as well. So, I think in this particular instance, I'm going to do like half of it and then put the full thing at the end. But just to let you know. So, yeah. I was thinking about some music stuff recently and I wrote down a couple things. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. I might just come up with whatever. I don't know. Um, but it was about music education, just like music learning and stuff, right? All types, classical to jazz to rock to folk music. You know, I started thinking, what's interesting about music is that it actually all music technically is music education. So what do I mean by that? So if you're a musician and you listen to anything, it's educating you about something, whatever that is. I couldn't say specifically, but something you could take away from it, even if it's like very very derivative pop music, dance music, pop, very derivative, not original in any way. There's still something that you can get out of it. You can get the groove feeling, getting improving your time, for example. So, there's always something that you can get out of everything. So it's kind of interesting paradigm when you then stick that together with, like the different trends and clicks that people have these days, and this team will be like, we're not going to ever do that technique, and then we're not ever going to do this technique or whatever. It turns into like a sports game or something like that. It seems to be the case these days, is like there's the tendency to just basically turn it into sports, turn music into sports. And I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to live their life or what they need to do. Just philosophically consider the unintended consequences of this type of activity. And what do I mean by that? Um, so it's kind of like a 1984 analog of the thought police willfully policing their own brain in a very abnormal way that is intended to basically negatively afflict another group that is in competition with your tribe, in order to derail them from success while you go on to great success. Um, I don't have to remind anybody that that kind of thinking is very dishonest. And go look up the definition for dishonest. Um, it's not a joke. It's not like a funny thing, like ruining people's lives just to get ahead or try to get ahead and stuff like that. You know. Anyway, you have to be true to yourself. You have to be true to yourself. Do what you want to do in life. And not let the trend basically start to afflict your mind to the point where you have to fit in, and you're lopping off parts of your own consciousness to try to fit in with these other people because they've deemed your musical aesthetic to be inferior to their great ideals. How dare you play guitar? How dare you do it? They are the second coming. Like that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, this is like musical psychology, right? A lot of this stuff in these segments, particularly. I'm not a professional psychologist, although I like to think that I have some ideals and concepts that have been well honed to the point that um, they could be seen as something, beneficial to someone or just something interesting to talk about. Because there's so much bullshit going on in the world that's kind of negative, but maybe this kind of bullshit can just kind of take your mind off of it. We're just kind of chilling, thinking about music in different ways, and uh, not trying to get overly competitive with each other to the point that we sacrifice each other and also our own ideas and abilities and stuff to serve some sort of false paradigm of competitive theory. Like we don't need to go down that rabbit hole, I don't think, as a society. you know as artists and musicians and guitar players, right? Um, so yeah, there's my diatribe on that particular topic. So what was the other thing? Oh yeah, so I've noticed a phenomenon on YouTube, and it's basically like how there are hot channels and cold channels, right? Um, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. This isn't an official term that some social scientist invented or something. It's just something I attribute to this phenomenon. And it is essentially, so you have some channels that they're a little more pure in their aims. And some might say that sometimes can be more moral or not. I don't know. But they're more pure in their aims. They're not really playing games with people or trying to get in on the secret Illuminati code signal thing that's popular this week, and whoever they're going after for fun. I don't know. Anyway, um, they're just doing content. They like it. It's kind of more. I don't want to say more wholesome, but it's just like a warm channel. It's something you go to for comfort in some capacity. It's like a comfort, versus a cold channel. A cold channel would be something that's very much can range from being overtly aggressive and negative, and abusive or hateful, and shock value, and to include people that are professional gaslighters, like mentalists that are like, I'm going to break your mind, and all this, this kind of fuckery, crazy shit thinking, like everybody thinks they're the Joker, right? And they're also a great hero too. Not only are they a mastermind criminal, but oh, I'm also a hero. Like, okay, all right. That's a whole other story. I don't even want to. I'm not trying to get up on a soapbox and fucking be like, think the way that I think. I'm just riffing here with you. With all, I'm gonna try to put some effects right there where it's like, when I said I'm riffing with you, so that like I have like whoever did that, was it Bill Cosby or some shit like back in the day? I don't know. Anyway, or that was just a saying. The school guidance counselor would be like, let me riff with you for a second, not that I saw guidance counselors all the time. I just, whatever was on, I have to, there's a lot of disclaimers involved in this dialogue. Um, it's not really a monologue, of course, but we're going to pretend that we're reacting with each other in real time. Right, Josiah? That's a new trend I've seen people doing, like where they just randomly say somebody's name, and like in the hopes that it's like, oh, and then they're like, oh my God, Jesus, I love you again, or whatever. But anyway, or they think you're a witch or you're supernatural or something, but it's just like a chaos theory, random number, you know, that kind of thing happening. All right, wait a minute. What was I talking about? Okay, yeah. So warm and cold channels. So it's just a phenomenon. And then when you think about warm and cold channels, basically not exactly so cut and dry, but like warm and warm and cold channel, meaning like good and bad, sort of. But it can get gray area, as to what's good or bad, because we don't all agree on what's right and what's wrong, right? Hence the societal problems that are inherent in our daily lives. Anyway, But when you apply this type of thinking to guitar and music channels, warm and cold channels, right? You sort of start to notice, oh, that guy, good player, but like kind of like a real cold character, right? And so the artistic trend, I feel like, that has transpired in as of late, in maybe the last five, not really 10, maybe last 5 years, I feel like, is like the really great channels are the ones that exude the most darkness factor. That's like, I'm basically a criminal, I'm the devil, or, like that kind of thing, that kind of emotional exuberance that's exuded, to the populace, to the vox populi, right? So, um, you know, I, I think we're kind of like starting, a lot of people kind of get the wrong idea, and they kind of attribute greatness or quality to how cold of a channel you can have, right? Versus the alternative. And of course, I'm a good one, right? I'm more of a warm channel. Now, I mean, probably some people would say I'm a cold channel. I mean, I already have like ice shit in my name, right? So, and snow, right? So, yeah. Um, but I tend to think of this as more of a warm channel. It's kind of a warm channel, but it's also kind of I'm like, there's probably somebody watching this right now, and they're like, their brain is spinning, and they're like, this is the darkest channel I've ever seen. Like, I literally thought that you were the Antichrist or something like that. Anyway, um, but I feel that definitely just more of a warm channel, just because it's like the kind of music. Typically, what I'm talking about is like the really dark rock and roll stuff, or rap music maybe, and other types of music that's just like intentionally. Even mean music can be dark because it has the sinister hidden meanings, the double entendre, right? Of all of that, uh, and but I'm not going to talk about secret societies today and how they operate. I'm just going to talk about music. Okay, so that's probably enough. I feel like I've been ranting for like probably 30 minutes. I don't even know how long it's been. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe, of course, and stay tuned because I'm going to play the entire thing from the clip in the beginning right now.